Welcome everyone, my name is Hipnozer, and today I'd like to introduce to you the first presentation of the philosophical series. Some people might ask, Hipnozer, what is the philosophy of your channel? What are its main points? Now, this series of videos, among others, will try to answer this question. This presentation was made at my first year of technical university at the philosophical course. Now this was of course translated to English and slightly enhanced graphically to look more appealing to the viewer. Okay, so maybe to the next slide. There you go. These are the series of topics we will be dealing with in this particular presentation. First, we introduce the motto, we go through the thesis of Gorgias, definitions and basic terms, types of nihilism, mentioning of the Gate poem by Tadeusz Różewicz, Kierkegaard's stance on nihilism, basic terms of Nietzscheanism, the examples of conflicted ideologies, and then we will sum everything up. Okay, so let's start with the short introduction, and we'll start with the two quotes, one from the Revenge of the Sith Star Wars, and the other quote will be by the Pontius Pilate in the Gospel of St. John. First quote says, good is point of view, and the other quote asks about the value of truth, which shows the relative nature of our world. And this is what our course will focus on. It will be called Basics of Relativization of Reality. And this is the first presentation of the series. Let's remind ourselves or define, if we haven't heard them before, the thesis of Gorgias. The first thesis claims that nothing exists. The second negates two kinds of truth, subjective and absolute. The third underlines the subjective and relative nature of knowing, and the fourth introduces the concept of skepticism and mentioned earlier relativism. So once we came through that, let's show the basic definitions connected with the philosophy. Nihilism, which can come from the word nihil or annihilate, is the idea that values don't have a base and they can't be known or transmitted. Idea in a Platonic sense is something that is not changeable eternally. Things or thoughts that can be mirrored by the sensual things with different intensity. Based on the concept of idea, we also have a concept of idealism, which is a close connection of group of humans to the previously defined idea. And also on the idea we have a concept of ideology, which is a set of defined previously ideas, especially those which base on political things like system, party or organization. And also we have an adjective ideological, which is based on defined before ideology. This is a snow desert at the North Suwałki region in January, which shows us the emptiness and helps us imagine the concept of nihilism. Now, continuing with the basic terms, we have to define what war is. So for war we need armed combat between multiple sides. This can be states, nations, or some sort of groups like religious or social. However, we need to keep in mind that some wars don't need a clash of militaries or armed forces, but the chance for the clash increases in that kind of war. The example for such kind of war can be Cold War, or from the topic of our presentation, ideological warfare. In that kind of situation, the fight takes place in the different backgrounds, notably the background connected with media, propaganda, or image areas. We can define three basic types of nihilism: political, ethically moral, and existential. The political nihilism questions the value of political system. The ethically moral questions the value of a traditional moral system, and the existential nihilism questions the value of life. Now, to show us ourselves the example of ethical moral nihilism, we will shortly talk about the poem Brahma, in English Gates, by Tadeusz Różewicz, a Polish poet. For those of you who are not in Poland, here is a quick quote from Wikipedia to tell you who this poet is. In his poem Gates, he questions, he showed us the world where the moral order was questioned so much it stopped existing. The hell, as we see in the deconstructed Gate of Dante Alighieri's Hell, has been deconstructed, and our lyrical subject is saying courage or have courage, which tells us that something worrying has happened. He also shows us the lack of respect for sacrum, for example, playing ball with the skull of Adam. And at the end he shows us the ruins of the old world, and he says that these are stones on stones. And even though it's not explicitly said in the poem, we can conclude in the poem that the hell is everywhere, because the gate of Dante Alighieri order is no longer containing it. Now, I'd suggest you to pause the video for the moment. In the description, I have given you two links for Polish audience and international audience, which explains the character of Doomer, which can be considered an example of existential nihilism. Okay, once we we have explained the concept of Doomer, let's take a look at the Kierkegaard's stance on nihilism. He used the thing called leveling. And that's the process of suppressing individuality and uniqueness. Kierkegaard wasn't a full-blown nihilist because he stated that life itself has meaning and value, but this concept is connected with our topic of nihilism. Okay, next let's take a look at the Nietzscheanism. It comes from the German philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche, publishing in second half of 19th century. He is famous for criticizing the traditional order of morality and religion. Instead of the values of the previous system, he offered Wille zur Macht, affirmation of life, in contrast to Christianity, honesty and sincerity. I'll have to translate that. Okay, so we are back with the translated text. Friedrich Nietzsche is a German philosopher which published in second half of 19th century. He was famous for the criticism of traditional morality and religion, and he offered the alternative to the traditional morality, like Wille zur Macht, affirmation of life, which contrasted to Christianity, honesty and sincerity, pressure on the value of enchanting art, the spirit, and pluralism. Here we have examples of conflicting ideologies, and we are dealing here with a situation similar to carrot and stick. And oftentimes we don't know which side of the spectrum is right, and in some situation no side of the spectrum can be right in the first place. That's why such topics can get complex. So right now I'd like to sum up the ideas we talked about today. We started with the thesis of Gorgias and the Platonic idea. We defined nihilism, connected idea to ideology, connected it with the definition of war, which got us to ideological war and the kind of philosophical trend. And these two concepts were sort of connected by our poem by Tadeusz Różewicz. So this will be all for the current presentation. Thank you everyone for watching. We'll see each other in the next episode.